Hello, 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 wonderful Facebook Live world. I am just going to set up a couple of things so we can make sure that this is shared properly online. But my name's Mary, and we wanted to thank you so much for tuning in to the second episode of You've Been Gilmored. It's all about the pilot episode.
That's right.
So if you're joining in and you want to rewatch the pilot and come back and listen to the podcast, you can certainly do that, or you can leave some comments in the Facebook Live video itself. So thank you very much. This was a great episode to rewatch. And so you're just going to be here for a little bit of the setup, and we will start recording our podcast in just a second.
That's right. And in the meantime, I'm actually going to take a look at the Facebook. Oh, there we are. Here I am in my my New England Patriots shirt, looking pretty phenomenal. I'm not going to lie. And so here we are talking about the pilot. Actually, Mary and I just watched it, and if you hear some stomping and some screaming in the background, that's because our kids are with Grandma right now, and they're upstairs. And yeah, that was. It took us about 10 minutes to watch the first 3 minutes.
Yeah, that's a fair
pilot.
Statement.
So
why 10 minutes to watch 3 minutes? No joke, guys.
Oh,
no joke.
No joke whatsoever.
Because having little kids is tough.
Having little kids is wow. Why did we have kids again? Just throwing that out there.
Because they're amazing, but they cramp your style a little bit.
Little bit. And are we sharing it on all the local channels that we have? Fantastic. In the meantime, if you are watching this right at this very moment, go to maryandblake.co. That is our website. It has every other single podcast, blog, and everything that we do all at that one site. If you want to catch everything we do all the time, that's the place. And it's a brand new website, just newly designed. I'm actually quite proud of it because I helped design it. And we didn't just pay somebody to do it. I mean, we did pay somebody to do it, but there's a lot of good input from Mary and I in there. A lot of love, a lot of personal touches in there.
Lots of love.
I know. So I'm pretty excited about that, actually. So
I'm pretty excited for this next podcast episode. It is going to be up in iTunes.
Yes, it is.
So if you are an iTunes user, make sure to head on in and find You've Been Gilmored. You'll find us and you can subscribe and you could give us a rating or a review, which would make my life so incredibly happy. You guys know how much I love those reviews.
Oh, hold on, wait. I gotta actually bring up one other thing here before I screw this up here.
Dun, dun, dun. Do you guys like the new logo? Blake was able to make our screen look super fancy up there, so you can always see our artwork, which he's very proud of. Blake should totally be like a graphic designer on the side.
Yeah, I'm kind of awesome at this. I'm not gonna lie. I'm pretty good.
All right, we are finishing up the pre-show prep, and I think we're going to be good to go.
You can see the pre-show prep that actually goes into this show. It's actually kind of cool how we do things here. And if you guys have any questions in the meantime, please don't be shy. Don't be afraid to.
Don't be shy.
Don't be afraid to ask us. In the meantime,
and if you have Gilmore Girls watching friends, share this on your Facebook status or in Twitter to invite them to join in the conversation. Once again, today's episode is all about the original season 1, episode 1 of the Gilmore Girls, which Blake and I just rewatched. So we're pretty pumped to talk about this.
Yeah, and the fun thing is we're just rewatching these things, and we are rewatching them literally. I would say, an hour before we do this. We're not like rewatching all of them and taking all these different notes. This is just us live talking about it and remembering and getting involved in that. But in the meantime, my love, I think I know I am definitely ready. Are you definitely ready?
Yes.
All right. Let's do it. Ready?
Yep.
Nope. Okay.
Never mind.
Hold on.
Never mind. See, he's got to push some buttons. It gets a little fancy and tricky here.
Wait a second. That's
tricky.
Why is this? Hold on one second.
All right. What is going on?
I have no
Technology.
idea.
Technology nowadays.
This is no good here.
Ooh, that was a cute sound.
Yes, it was. All right. Close out of this bad boy.
All about Gilmore Girls. Da, 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 da. I promise we're getting started. Someone has been very patient. Someone has been patiently watching
My
us.
love, save me while I do this, please.
What am I doing?
Just keep talking.
That is something I can do. That is totally something I can do. So, once again, we're going to be having how many episodes? 10?
I think that we're going to be doing the top 12 episodes.
Top 12 episodes of the Gilmore Girls. That's what you can expect from myself and Blake. And it's going to be broken down into the best episode for a certain character. So that's how we're going to be breaking it down, because these episodes are just so darn fun that you can't even pick 12 great ones. So by picking it for which one is best for each character helped us whittle it down a little bit easier. And then we will have a podcast episode about each of the new Netflix episodes, of course, which comes out Thanksgiving weekend. So I'm pretty pumped about that. As should you be.
I know. So it looks like we are finally ready to go. My love, are you ready to go? Now that I got all the technology
I'm always
figured
ready
out?
to go.
All right, let's do it.
So, tell me about the guy.
You know what's really special about our relationship? The total understanding about the need for one's privacy. I mean, you really understand boundaries.
So tell me about the guy.
Mom!
Is he dreamy?
Oh, that's so Nick at night.
Well, I'm gonna find out anyway.
Really? How?
I'll spy.
La la. La la. La la.
This is episode 2 of You've Been Gilmored.
Oh, wait.
Did you mess up recording this already?
We totally messed it up.
Blake Larson.
Oh, boy. Listen, it's our second episode.
Okay, let's start this over.
You want to do the whole thing over again?
I don't know. You're the producer. I don't think you need to do the whole thing. You got the clip in there. So
I got the clip.
You just need me to say this is episode 2.
No, we don't need to do the episode 2 thing. Let's just when I give you the cue, just go right to the intro.
Okay.
Hold on.
Once again, Facebook Live, you get the behind the scenes footage.
Okay, here we go. Ready?
Yes.
And just go right into the intro. And
La la. La la. La la. La la.
All the way from Cranston, Rhode Island, welcome to You've Been Gilmored. It's a podcast dedicated to the show Gilmore Girls on Netflix. So grab yourself a cup of coffee or your favorite pint of ice cream and enjoy the show.
La la.
Hello, everyone, and welcome. My name is Mary Larson.
my name's Blake, and I just love Luke. I love Luke. I think
Really?
he is the absolute best. Even though he had like 3 lines, just the way that he was introduced in this episode was perfect Luke. Do you know what I mean?
I do.
Even when he took it, I didn't realize, I forgot how bad his hairline is.
Why, he wears a hat?
Man, he's got one big peninsula right here.
He
It's
does.
like, it goes right there. It goes all the way up here, like where I'm pointed like to the middle of my head, and then the peninsula goes like down to his eyebrows.
You know what's tough is that's what our 1.5-year-old baby Felicity's hairline looks like right now. So at least he could say that. But yeah, that's probably why he wore a hat for so long.
Yeah, I would imagine. And did you notice that his hat was different in this episode? By the way, it was a blue hat, but it had an American flag on it.
Hey, fancy
And in
pants.
later episodes, it was just a plain blue hat. Mm-hmm. Imagine that. I wonder why.
Maybe the critics who got to watch the first episode. You know what? That American flag is just way too distracting. Way too distracting.
Hey, Ben DeCastro is in on the live thing.
Hey.
And for any of you who are watching live, thank you. And for those of you who are not watching live, we kind of did this very quickly. We didn't really advertise it or whatever. But next time, please look out on the Mary and Blake website or Mary and Blake Facebook to see exactly when this is going to go live, so you can join us live. And hopefully more people come. Actually, they're already coming.
Yay.
We're told that Lorelai gives him the other hat. That's right. What the hell was I thinking?
You haven't rewatched everything as much as you're supposed to, so
That's
don't
right.
you worry.
That's right.
Padawan. So basically, as we were talked about last episode, we're going to be breaking down the top 12 best episodes of the Gilmore Girls in their first 7 seasons, pre-Netflix. And we have decided to break it down in best episode for character, except for this one, because this is the pilot episode. And how could we start a Gilmore Girls podcast without addressing the pilot? I mean, this is what started it all.
Yeah.
This is what laid the foundation for the characters, for the town, for the scenarios, the family dynamics that we were going to be in. So Blake just watched the pilot for the first time, because when I was watching Gilmore Girls during my pregnancy, he didn't start to tune in until a little while later. So as we were rewatching it a couple hours ago, I said, Blake, this is your first pilot. Like, you don't even know why Friday night dinners began.
Correct.
You don't even know how many cups of coffee Lorelai really drinks before she gets to Luke's in the morning. This is going to be fantastic. So, congratulations on watching the pilot.
Thank you. I'm deserving. I know.
Yes.
And I got to tell you, well, we'll save. Well,
Yeah.
I'll save the reactions. But for the meantime, I love. What do you have for your GBG? What's the good, bad, great for you?
The good, bad, great.
For the pilot.
For the pilot episode, my good is goodness gracious, Emily Gilmore. When you rewatch the Gilmore Girls, you get the little great feelings inside, and you laugh even harder at Emily's lines, at just the snarkiness of her tone and her facial expressions. So I just love that woman. My bad for the pilot episode is the slightly creepy factor of Dean. Now, here's the thing. Originally, when I saw this episode by myself, I loved it. I was like, oh, Dean totally watches Rory all the time. He says he's been watching her
so
a lot.
creepy.
And he watches her, all the books that she's reading, and he notices all these things about her. And then Blake pointed out just a couple hours ago that this reminded him a lot about Twilight, and how Edward Cullen would watch Bella and just, oh, I've been watching you. So even Dean in this episode says, like, in a non-creepy way. But yeah, now that I watched it thinking about Twilight, it was a little creepy. So that's the only bad that I had. And my great is Lorelai's realness of what it's like to be an adult. Okay, so Lorelai, I actually wrote in our show notes, #adulting, because that's now a little phrase that people our age often say. When I was younger, I thought adults had their act together. I really was like, oh, once you're an adult, you know the answers to everything. You're not going to freak out. You're not going to be nervous about stuff. And the truth of the matter is that is a lie. And you're constantly feeling like you don't know what you're doing, and you're figuring out life as you go. And in this episode, we got to see that realness of Lorelai. Here she is, a mother. She's an established businesswoman. She seems like she's got her life together, her act together. In each episode, in each scene, she's all dressed up, she looks perfect, she's fantastic, and then we see her freaking out because the tuition letter came in. And you see, oh my God, I have family issues, and you realize this beautiful, perfect looking woman is just an adult like the rest of us who have no idea how to sail through life.
I would argue she's not even an adult. She's a kid. I would argue that.
Am I a kid? Because I feel like I'm Lorelai.
Well, no. I don't. You shouldn't feel like it. You are Lorelai. I mean,
Okay.
I married Lorelai Gilmore. I really did. Like, there's a lot of guys out there that have said, "Oh God, I wish I had Lorelai. I wish I found her. I wish that she's there." I'm lucky enough to say that I certainly did marry Lorelai. I mean, the way that Mary acts, she's an adult, but she's not, and it's cute, it's funny, the things that she says and the things that she does, and how she interacts with her parents, how she interacts with my parents, like all of it, and with her kids and me, and all. It's just the quick little lines. She is Lorelai Gilmore. And of course, it doesn't help that she's gorgeous too. I mean, just look at her
right
in her
now,
Darth Vader shirt.
My Darth Vader shirt, exactly. How about you? What was your good, bad, great for this pilot episode?
All right, my good was the beginning. The guy hitting on Lorelai,
Yes.
and then Rory. Oh my God, it was. I'm going to get into this later, but the way that this show introduced itself was absolutely perfect. You had everything you needed to know about Lorelai within that first 3 minutes. That she loves coffee. She goes to Luke's. She goes there often, and she sits down. She's young. She's pretty. She's vibrant. And that guy goes to hit on her, but she doesn't really care. She's not worried about guys. And then Rory comes in. The guy starts hitting on Rory. And then she goes, "Hi, welcome to hitting on my daughter. She's 16." and then Rory What she does is absolutely stunning. It shows you the kind of relationship that they have where they're immediately in tune, and Rory says, "Are you my new daddy?"
Love it.
That
Love it.
in and of itself is the perfect Gilmore Girls moment because it shows their relationship instantly, just like
agree.
that. It was perfect. My bad. How they portrayed Richard Gilmore, the father, in this episode. I really didn't like what they did to Edward Herman. How they, like when he's not paying attention to anything, he's falling asleep at the dinner table. To my recollection, he is not that kind of character later on in the show. Now, I'm sure that because he's icy towards Lorelai and is enveloped in his insurance business, I get it. I understand that that's probably how they wanted to portray him in the pilot. And I'm sure that as Edward Herman kept, getting more comfortable with the character, they started writing more for him and giving him a little bit more substance. But what they did to that character, you didn't like him.
I know.
You didn't even want to like him. Because at least with Emily, you kind of got it, right? You kind of got why she was pissed off at Lorelai. And she wasn't even pissed off. It was more like, where you been? And like, the other thing, too, was Richard was intent on saying, you need money. To Lorelai, you need money.
Sticking it over and over and over again.
And it didn't feel like it came from a good place. Whereas Emily, even though she busted Lorelai's balls, and even though they got in the fight later on in the episode, when she said, "I want to be involved in your life. I want to be involved in Rory's life. You were going to have dinners. That we're going to have the famous Friday night dinners." That came from a place of, I want to know my daughter again. I want to actually know my granddaughter outside of the holidays. Yeah. Right? I want to know. They kept on asking, "Is it Easter yet? Is it? Wait, is it Christmas?
It's not December. Yeah.
What holiday is it now?" She wants to know more about them. That is awesome. And this is the beautiful thing about this show. You don't have to get all that deep about this show. You don't have to go crazy with it. It's just about the characters' motivations and what they are and what they want. And what Emily wanted was great. What Richard did was just fall asleep. There was nothing to him, and I didn't even like him.
That's okay. They developed him later.
Which is because I like him much later on. And the Great. The Great is the complete organic beginning to this show. Immediately, you were introduced to Lorelai, to Rory. You knew their relationship. You're introduced to Luke, the diner. You're introduced to Sookie in a funny way, even though it was a little hammy with her banging into things
just breaking
constantly.
Everything, yeah.
Because to my recollection, I don't remember that as much.
She wasn't as clumsy and hurting herself literally every 2 minutes during the entirety of the show. I agree with you.
At.
Yeah.
But they gave you information without just being like, "Oh, hi, I work at the Independence Inn." It was almost like you were dropped in as a viewer into Stars Hollow when the story had already begun. It almost felt like we were in episode 4 as opposed to the pilot episode, which it's kind of like Indiana Jones. Like Indiana Jones shows up, he's in Raiders of the Lost Ark. You're just put into a situation. You're there. He's there with the golden thing, and he's got the bag of sand, and he puts it on the golden thing, takes it off the weight, and then the ball comes barreling down. Yeah. That's how I felt with Gilmore Girls. Just no barreling ball.
Yeah, ball falling.
But it's a complete organic beginning to this show. You had all the information. It wasn't just said, "Hi, you're in Stars Hollow." There's Lorelai, and this is her daughter Rory, and it didn't spell it out for you. You just were expected to know it because they dropped you in the middle of this town. Even with like the lady who does the teaching of the school, the dance school, she's sitting there ripping butts. And Miss Patty. She's ripping butts outside the door.
Well, like the little 6-year-olds are doing ballet.
She's like, "Do you need to go pee-pee?" "Oh, no." "So uncross your legs, honey." That to me is perfect. That shows you the character. That shows you who she is and how she's already the mayor. You already know who she is, what her motivations are. It's fantastic. And that was my great about this. You were just dropped in, and it was a completely organic beginning to this show. And you couldn't ask for anything better, really. I mean, you could.
I could have asked for something.
What could you have asked for?
Just a flash of Kirk.
Oh yeah, Kirk would have been good.
That's the only thing that I was like, "Oh, okay." Like I forgot that he wasn't in it. I thought at least I would see him sitting in the coffee shop.
That's
And
true.
maybe he was, but I feel like I would have noticed him.
Maybe he would have done something funky, like drop a cup or
Like,
something.
yeah, or like slipped or something like quickly, just so we would see him. I
Right.
know that we didn't need him in this episode, but that was the one thing I was like, I would have loved to see Kirk.
But as much as they didn't give that to you, they gave you a lot of Michelle.
Yes.
And Michelle was great because you could tell that instantly he pretends that he hates his job, but he kind of loves it. And he pretends, he says to Lorelai, I despise you.
I love it.
I'm totally going to do the worst French accent this
Yes, you
entire
are. You can't even
podcast.
say Michelle.
Michelle. I said Michelle. Whatever.
I know.
Michelle. And he goes, I despise you, and the back and forth that he and Lorelai have when she's making fun of his accent. She's like, I'm going to keep talking like this until you look at Rory's French paper, like that was, again, it's an organic relationship. It doesn't have to be spelled out for you. It is what it is, and you as the viewer have to keep up with it. And I got to tell you, at this time, what is this? Yeah, 2000, maybe 99 to 2000. Shows weren't like that at that point. Everything was spelled out for you, especially in the WB. Now, I know Ashley Crawley's going to get on me for this. And fine, Ashley, she's a listener, and she's actually the editor-in-chief of the Outlander Cast blog. She's going to get on me for it. I appreciate it. But it was a WB. I mean, it was a relatively fledgling network that had just begun not too far from this episode airing. And what are we getting at, right? So anyway, my love, are you ready to get into the show?
Yeah.
All right, let's. Well, actually,
do we have a coffee rating?
Yeah, you want to do coffee ratings?
I do.
Okay, let's do coffee. What do you got for your coffee rating?
My coffee rating, 1 out of 5 would be a solid 4. A solid 4. I want to come back for more. It's not something that I need to, oh my God, I can't wait to see what happens next week. I mean, knowing what it is, knowing that it's like a happy, awesome, great, happy show, I'm on board. A solid, good 4. How about you?
Wow. I am totally surprised.
That I didn't give it a 5?
No, that I'm going higher than you.
Oh, this may go down in history. Pigs might be flying right now.
I can't believe this. I'm giving it a 4.7. 4.7
That's
cups
pretty much
of coffee.
your 5.
That's basically a 5. And the reason why it doesn't get a 5 is because of how they treated Richard.
Okay.
He's a better character than that, and you should have got more of his warmth. He didn't have to be warm to Lorelai, but he did have to show something to Emily about Lorelai, in my opinion. Like, he actually cared, that he wasn't just like upset with her, pissed off. Yes, I'm sure he's pissed off because of Christopher and Lorelai leaving, and he's probably hurt. You need money, don't you? All that stuff, I get it. But
we got enough snarkiness from Emily. We didn't need it from Richard.
Right, but as a dad, he didn't even show much love towards Rory. He just handed her a piece of paper. He handed her the paper on the
the newspaper.
It's like he didn't even care. It's one thing to not care about Lorelai.
Okay.
But you gotta show care and concern for your granddaughter.
But on the other hand, this show being called The Gilmore Girls, we focused on the female relationships in this episode, and then they later develop Richard, which I'm okay with. There can't be too many things. It's only a 42-minute show. They only have so much time. I can appreciate it, but I don't think we need to sink the ship for it. So I'm happy with their 4.7.
I'm saying the 4.7, in my eyes, it's probably a perfect pilot.
Aww.
It really is a perfect pilot. And for those of you who don't know, whenever you're doing like network television, at the time, and it's still like this now, but for shows like The Leftovers or Outlander or Homeland, all those shows, they are ordered to series immediately because they're on pay cable networks. They know what they're getting into. For network television, just a regular broadcast, ABC, NBC, WB, AMC, every show has to have a pilot, which is the first episode. It's showing the executives, hey, this is the show we want to make. What do you think? Do you like it? And they base their decision to go to series off of the pilot. So what will happen is they'll show a pilot, and generally, I'd say about a month or two later, then they'll get into the rest of the series, because now they actually have to film it. They got the go ahead from the network. So that's why generally any episode of television that you see from the first season, the first episode is called pilot, because it's their test.
Okay.
So that's that. And kudos to Denise Stewart, who is watching live. Thank you, Denise. She actually gave Mary the emojis of 4 coffee cups.
Oh, she also said, Blake, please don't have accents.
Oh, I'm totally doing the accents. I'm going to do so many accents that you guys aren't going to know who's speaking.
Well, luckily only Michelle has the accent. And Miss
I'm
Patty.
going to talk like this from now on.
All right, let's head into the recap.
All right, let's do it. All right, you want the particulars for this episode?
I would love to know things about this episode.
All right, so the episode title, as we just mentioned, is Pilot, and for that very specific reason. And it was written by none other than Amy Sherman Palladino, who is the showrunner of the show. If you don't know what a showrunner is, go back to episode 1 of You've Been Gilmored, and I'll explain to all of you within the context of Gilmore Girls what a showrunner is. And this one was directed by Leslie Linka Glatter. Now, I know, my love, you probably don't know who she is.
No.
And I'm probably sure that most of the other people who are watching this live or listening to this now don't know who she is. And that's okay, because I am a giant nerd and I do know who she is. She has lately become one of the premium female directors in all of television.
Wow.
In fact, she has directed some stunning work, has been nominated for multiple Emmys.
Good for her.
Multiple Emmys on Homeland, The Leftovers, Mad Men, True Blood, The Newsroom, The Walking Dead, The West Wing.
This girl is all over the place.
And she is just unbelievable.
Oh my gosh, Leslie.
Really.
Way to go.
It's like her and Michelle McLaren and Anna Forster are the top 3 female directors right now. And actually, Leslie Linka Glatter was actually brought up to direct for Wonder Woman, the new DC movie that's
Very
that's just coming out. She didn't get it, but she was brought up to direct it. So she is kind of big time. For her to be on the pilot of Gilmore Girls is actually kind of cool. And she actually ended up directing 4 total episodes for the Gilmore Girls later on.
Well done. Well done.
One of the things that we want to do too is best line of the show. And my best line came right before the Friday night dinner when Lorelai says to Rory, "Okay, look, I know you and me are having a thing here, and I know you hate me, but I need you to be civil at least through dinner. And then on the way home, you can pull a Menendez."
I had no idea what that was. No idea. I laughed because I'm like, "Oh, Lorelai, you're so funny. I don't know what a Menendez is, but I'm laughing."
So for those of you who aren't nerds like me, Eric and Lyle Menendez were they were brothers who actually killed their parents.
Oh my gosh!
Because they grew up in like Beverly Hills Beverly Hills, and they were 18 and 21. And after a year of lavishly spending their deceased parents' money, Eric confessed to killing his parents, but they killed them, just brutally murdered them in their house. And they said that they didn't do it. And they said that somebody robbed them or whatever. So I thought that was I thought that was hysterical, because pulling a Menendez at the time when this was written, that was pretty apropos.
Yeah, okay.
You know what I mean? So that was the best line in my eyes.
All right.
So how do you want to attack this episode, my love? Which way do you want to go with this?
Let's talk about Lorelai and Rory and what went down.
Okay, well, because our next episode is the best Lorelai and Rory episode.
Yeah, so this can kind of lead up to it a little bit.
Okay.
I mean, I feel like this set the stage pretty well. I loved how that guy hitting on them in the beginning of the coffee shop set the stage that these two are pretty much equals. You know, the relationship with each other, how they were able to banter like you talked about. This isn't just your normal mother-daughter relationship. Mm-hmm. These girls, these women are honestly best friends. And I really, really liked that. And I liked how they did fight in this episode, because as mothers and daughters often do, and even close girlfriends do. Mm-hmm. You know, and I liked that. I liked how the realness of Rory is a very mature woman, mm-hmm. as we know. She's very brainy and book smart, and
she's probably more of an adult than Lorelai is.
I would disagree. But
really, you think so?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, I mean, obviously she has her moments.
Rory has way too many moments to be called an adult. Rory Rory's a nerd girl whose best friend is her mom. Okay. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's really great. But Rory is definitely a girl. And we see that in future episodes and future seasons.
You see that in this episode.
Yes.
She wants to give up Chilton to go with
Yes.
Twilight Kid.
With Dean.
Dean, that's
yeah.
right.
So, I mean.
What are we talking about? By the way, the hair. Oh, my God.
Dean's hair?
Oh, my God. Jared Padalecki.
Brought you back, right?
Calm down.
I loved it. All he needed to do was a little one of these things. But I loved
just
his
flick his
whole
hair.
look. I loved it. I was like, that is 2000, baby. The hair, the outfit, amazing. So was there anything that stood out to you about Lorelai and Rory that you found pretty unique in this episode?
And it's not necessarily that they are unique, but that the relationship that they share isn't forced. It's genuine. I mean, right off the bat, it felt completely natural to who they were. And I go back to that one line: "Are you my new daddy now?" Like, they both bust balls, and I absolutely adored when they were both arguing after they got home after the Friday night dinner. And talking to Miss Patty, and Miss Patty's like, "Oh, the boy, I got him a job. He's gonna work at Dozie's. It's gonna be great. I can't wait to see Dozie. By the way, oh my God, I'm so excited." Lorelai immediately says, "Oh, so it's been about a boy. I'm so dense." Let me guess: is he tall, dark, and handsome? Beautiful
dangerous?
eyes. Is he dangerous looking?
Does he ride a motorcycle?
Yeah,
because
he's. If you're gonna throw your life away, you better have a motorcycle. That was almost the best line, because I have a motorcycle, by the way,
Okay.
and Mary hopefully hasn't thrown her life away quite yet.
I
But
haven't, of course not.
because
just
I am
begun.
I'm tall, dark. She basically described me. I'm dangerous. I'm tall. I'm dark. I'm handsome, and I have a motorcycle. Right?
There, yeah. I wouldn't say you're dangerous though.
I'm a little dangerous.
In the kitchen.
You know,
We'll leave it there.
listen, pot calling kettle black.
I didn't. Okay.
Okay,
Sure.
Just
I make a mean taco. I'm really good at tacos.
you
Anyway,
are good at tacos. Anyway,
I know.
so she describes her. She's like, "Yeah, because you're me, and I know, and I can't help that I know because you're me." That is a really, I hate to use this word again, but it's an organic relationship. It just makes sense, and she's handling. It's almost like Lorelai didn't know how to argue with her daughter.
This is probably one of the first times they've had.
That's what I'm saying. She
Yeah.
didn't know how, and because of that, you could tell her frustration.
She even
And-
said that. She said, we pride ourselves on having a democracy relationship. And for the first time, I'm going to pull my mom card and you are going to Chilton on Monday morning.
And she so desperately does not want to become Emily. She's trying so hard to not do it.
Yeah.
Because she wants to. You can tell that she has been scarred indefinitely. And this is the beautiful part of this pilot. Yes, they did tell you Lorelai left. They did tell you that she got pregnant when she was 16. And all this stuff came out gradually. But they're not getting into the rough details of it. They're allowing you to just get into there and sit with all that information. And then it will give you a little bit dribs and drabs, a little bit more, a little bit further. And that is the beautiful thing, because you can only infer what the parents actually did to Lorelai. Why she so desperately wanted to get away, get out of there. And she's like trying to, like, Lorelai is trying to impress her parents, talking about business classes, and I just got back from college and this and that. And they both know it's full of shit, and she knows it's full of it, but she's still trying to keep up appearances. And the desperate move, that, like, the resignation in her eyes when she has to say to her mother, "All right, I'll come to dinner."
Yep.
I can't, like, listen, I may or may not have a slightly contentious relationship with my family. And the acting and the writing is spot on. Like, you love them, you want to do the right thing.
You're on Facebook Live right now.
That's okay. That's okay. I'm fine with that. Because it's true. It is what it is. You love them. I do love my family. I love my family more than anything. But there are just some things that they do, and
that only family can do when they really get you, when they dig it in.
You, and like, you find yourself just at the littlest things, just holding your fists as tight as you can, and you like that argument with their mother in the kitchen, and
Ugh.
like that is real. That